Okay, we're getting ready to swap over the rockers. The engine, because we did a blueprint engine, came with factory style, so we went ahead and bought some comp roller rockers, and now I'm doing the cleaning part. So you gotta clean them real good, and then we'll set up the lash. Okay, so these guys have been soaking, they've cleaned, and in a minute I'm going to get one set up as a demonstrator, and we'll show you how to lash these real quick. Okay, so these are coming out of the oil. One thing to note, there's a flat side and a not flat side. You want the not flat side down. Otherwise, the poly lock isn't going to work. So, the way we're going to do this is we're going to take a little bit of assembly lube, dab her on. We're going to slide her in there. We're going to fish out one of these poly locks if we can find one. Okay. And I've got the lock turned up, so now I'm just playing with the push rod into the cup. See it in the cup now, right there. Just wiggling that until I hit the point where it stops wiggling. So right there, it doesn't wiggle up and down anymore. So that's called zero lash. So then I'm going to take and add 1/2. So we are now 1/2 turn past. Okay, then we will take, hold the poly lock, and then spin down the locking key. And you don't have to go crazy here. All right, so now the number 1 exhaust is on there. Also, that's the other thing that's important to note, is we're at top dead center on the compression stroke. So I've got the trunnion turned. I'm going to take a little bit of assembly lube, pop a little on the ball, a little on the valve stem. I realize they're rollers, but you know, friction is still a thing at startup. I'm going to drop her down. I'm going to fish out a poly lock here. Get all the oil out of her. And we're going to spin her down. Now I'm going to start feeling until I hit zero lash. Okay, so it's getting lower, lower. Still got some play. Okay, there's very little play there. There's just a couple mils. Okay, right there, no lash. I'm going to give her 1/2 turn. And what that's going to do is recess the push rod ever so slightly down into the lifter, because it's hydraulic and all the lash will be taken up. But we don't want it clattering, so that's what that's going to do for us. And then we'll go ahead and lock her down. Now, because it's a 1.843.572 engine, or 6572 engine, I could also go ahead and do number 6 right now, because she's also ready. However, well, she's 180 out. We're just going to do 1 cylinder at a time. That's the safest thing you can do. So we just did number 1. Now, to show what's going to happen here, I'm just going to go ahead and spin the motor twice and put us right back where we are. Also notice, not using a bolt, using the correct socket. Okay. I'm going to bring her around. Okay. We're exhausting. Okay, we're coming back around. We're starting our intake charge. So the intake valve is starting to go down. Okay. Now the next time we come around, as the intake valve closes, we're getting ready to fire. So in reality, we would fire somewhere right around in here, but top dead center is going to actually be right there. So we're on top dead center, number 1 on the compression stroke. You'll notice now that we've cycled those, that we've played with the lash, we can wiggle it ever so slightly because we have no oil pressure pushing the cups up. So now we'll just go through and do all the rest of them. So there, that's part of what you said you wanted to do, was show. Okay, now they're all in. We chased the firing order. We did 1-8. So we went from 1, and then we went 90 degrees, did 8, 90 degrees, did 4, and then 3, and then 6, and then 5, and 7, and 2, and now we're back to 1. So one thing you can usually try to tell with poly locks is you kind of look like here, since it's a big block, we're going to look at all the intakes, and then we're going to look at the adjustment on all the exhausts, and they should be pretty close to each other, probably within half a thread. So we're just going to kind of pass down. If one is sticking way out or is way in, then you're going to question yourself and say, oh, what didn't adjust on that? And then, just as happened in 2 cylinders in here, there's not always going to already be a pumped up lifter. This engine was run when it was broken in, and then it stops wherever it stops, and those cylinders will bleed down their lifters because the springs are pushing on them. So there's no oil in those lifters, so some of them don't have the resistance when you're doing that half turn. You can still feel, and you can, in fact, if you don't have the intake on, you can watch them pushing in, so you can tell it's happening. But that'll all, it'll clatter for just a brief moment when you first start it, and it'll all quiet down. That's the beauty of hydraulics. Okay, an addendum to our video here. Tonight, we're trying to find everything we can't seem to find. These screws for the coupler, a 5/16 24 thread goes in them, but it's loose. So we're trying to figure out what the thread on those actually is, because we have the coupler, we have no bolts for it for some reason. We have every other bolt. The other thing we've been trying to do is figure out how we were going to do the keyway to the new damper, because we are going to take advantage of the double keyway. I've got a solution for that figured out now, but then we had a frantic search for the locator pulley, or the locator bushing for the V-belt pulley, which is right here. So this is the locator for the blower hub, but then how do you attach it to the damper? Well, luckily, apparently at some point in the distant past, I already solved that problem, and we already have one. So that was a frantic search trying to figure out how that was going to work, and it turned out we solved that a long time ago. So yeah, so we've got that all sorted out. We've come to the realization that we're probably not going to be able to keep this a really cool cover, because no matter what we do, it's going to have to be a short water pump. And being a Gen 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the front cover, so it's not a Gen 5. In fact, no mechanical boss at all. So not a lot of front cover options. So we're still looking, trying to figure out how we're going to do all this and get all our accessories. We don't want to waste a lot of money, but we want things that are going to hold up real well and look nice. And right now, he's looking for all the brake components, because everything comes apart when you paint stuff. And now we're trying to make sure we have everything before we can reinstall it all. Okay, we're starting to sort some things out and remember. So all this stuff's already been powder coated and cleaned up. So now we've got to disassemble this unit and rebuild it. We found the Hydro Boost for the car. So we'll have to get that mounted after we get the pedals mounted. Alright, trying to get this part to upgrade. It sure is a pain in the butt, especially when the instructions aren't super clear. They're basically a picture. We need it to look like that when we're done. Alright. Okay. We've got all that figured out. And it was loads and loads of fun. And we made the bumper work. And now we're getting ready to grind it down to weld the return spring tab on. Okay, that's not very fun, but we got it. Because apparently, these are known for stripping, because there was only like 4 little splines and they were stripping out here. So not only is that now a giant fully splined shaft, the shaft's a little bit thicker, the stop is ungodly. The downside is it's super bloody adjustable, and everything that's super adjustable means it's impossible to get it adjusted. But we did finally get it to a point where we're happy. The pedals are now evenish. That spring is something. That's not fun to put on at all. Yeah, nothing about this has been fun, but you know, it's part of car crafting. And of course we had to come up with a little shim right here, because no matter how we put the Heim joint on, let's let you guys see it. So no matter how we had that on there, it was going to hit. So we had to shim it out a little bit. And yeah, so that's the pedal assembly. Alright, here's the end of the video. I know it was a little disconcerting because I never got around to editing last week's video, so that's why this video is 2 separate projects put together, because I had family in town and I didn't have time to sit and play editing because I'm not very good at it. But you can see here is the clutch rod. Instead of, I don't even know where it went. We had this dinky little rod that was the original. But anyway, wherever we put it. Here's our new Z-bar. And then of course the brackets for on the engine and the frame. Although our car already was a manual car, so we don't need the frame side. But that side has already been fitted to the engine and transmission and shaped. So yeah, this is all coming together. So in the next week or so, hopefully we'll have a video showing the install of this guy, which has been installed once on this car, but it was quite a while ago before paint, back when we were building the lines. So we'll get it all in there. It's starting to come together now. So anyway, that's the 55 for this time.